ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit of the WoW Podcast, Blue Please on CynicalBrit.com. God, this took way too long, honestly. It's been a bit of a nightmare on the beta today. Things have been breaking, frame rate all over the place. I managed to fall through the Searing Gorge, which was quite impressive considering I was 50 feet in the air at the time. I ended up underneath the Searing Gorge, and yet it looked like I was flying above it. It was a little awkward. It was a little frustrating. But there you go. The purpose of this video is to be a little bit helpful for a change. A lot of people have been asking me, and this isn't really a request, but like I say, I do take ideas. I do listen, as much as it looks like I hate everyone and everything. I do listen. And people have said, well, I heard that in Cataclysm you're going to have to go find the instance portal before you can use the looking for group tool, and we're all confused, and hell, there's people who've just got into the beta that have no idea where these instances are. So I thought, right, well, what I'll do is I'm going to do a guide to each instance. I'm going to show you where it is. I'm going to show you the best way to get there. And I'm also going to show you, well, walking inside the instance with the little loading screen and all that good stuff. Hopefully it'll be useful to you, and it'll also give you a little look at some of the zones I haven't really covered yet, including stuff like the Searing Gorge. So without further ado, let's kick it off right here. The first fireban you need to know about is the Blackrock Caverns. It's located in Searing Gorge inside the Blackrock Mountain. It's a level 80 to 82 fireman. It's probably going to be the first one you go in. The easiest way to access it is to get the flight to Chisel Grip, which is a neutral Thorium Brotherhood flight point in the middle of the zone right there. And I am going to show you the flight over there. Some might wonder what the purpose of the Flight Masters really are now that you can fly all over Azeroth. Well, sometimes they're quicker, and they're often more direct. Every now and again. Bear in mind that the flights have now been altered. The actual flight paths are different to the way they used to be. You might have wondered why they always took the scenic route. Well, there's a reason for that. They were often used to avoid areas that were actually incomplete. So, say, you couldn't fly over areas of Oldham when you were flying around Tanarus because obviously there wasn't anything there. And a lot of the set pieces were kind of like cardboard, really. There wasn't anything behind them. A lot of tricks of the light and things like that. So now the flight paths are much more direct and they are much faster, so if you want to go AFK for a while, it's always nice to do that. Blackrock Mountain, you should remember this. There is another opening into it, and we can head around here to do that. That should give us access sort of towards the bottom there. Now, where we need to go in order to get to the instance portal for Blackrock Caverns, and we'll just have a quick look here because it's nice to have this perspective. It's not something you really got to see before. Which is awesome. That's one of the best things about Cataclysm. Hey, what does it look like from this angle? Right, where you need to go is you need to go through the old entrance to Upper Blackrock Spire, which if you recall, and I certainly don't, it's been a while, it's around here somewhere. Yes. You can fly inside here, so you don't really need to worry about jumping up the chain anymore. Don't go in there, that would be silly. So we want to go forward a little bit. We're not going to Blackwing Lair. And what you do is you take a left here, and you head on down. You see where the Scar Shield guy is. Yes, you remember him. He drops those sealed orders. Yes, I'm going to kill him just for the sake of it. I feel like it. What can I say? Oddly enough, I'm actually on spec here. As you can probably tell, half my spells are missing. Again, it reset my spec with the latest build. It will insist on doing that. Okay, I don't think we need the roasted quail. Right, the way you need to go is you take a left, and you go all the way down here, down a few flights of stairs. If you're a mage, you can do this, and then you can have Blink Bug out on you because they still haven't fixed it after 3 expansions now. You know, they're never going to fix that. They're never going to manage it. So you keep going, you take the left once again, past the Moonkin, give it a pat, and there you go. That is the entrance to Blackrock Caverns, and no doubt that's going to confuse tons of people. It reminds me of educating people where BRD was. That was pretty horrendous. And you get a wonderful loading screen, and in you go. Right. Let's head on to the next dungeon, shall we? This one is a little tricky to find. I'm discussing, of course, the Throne of Tides, which is in Vashir. Now, there is a set of portals here that you will find in Orgrimmar, and if they worked, that's how you would get there. It's the quickest way, anyway. The other way is on the boat. That leaves from the Orgrimmar Harbour, and that's currently broken at the moment. Or you can actually fly there, yes. There is fatigue, but you can get there before the fatigue kills you. It's much easier to get there from Stormwind Harbour. You can just fly straight across, no problem at all. So it's a bit of a pain for the Horde to get to. But this is what you have to do. You need to go to that area that I showed you there, the Abyssal Breach, and then go straight down. If you have an Abyssal Seahorse, it makes it an awful lot easier, because it takes ages to get down there otherwise. Bear in mind, this moves at almost more than 400% speed, in fact. Yeah, it's 450. So actually swimming down there takes loads of time. You've got to reach the bottom, and then you'll be sucked down into the breach, and you will get to the Throne of Tides. Now, this is a pre-made, and I'm actually blacking out the name just so that it's a character I can actually play without being pestered. Yeah, that'll last about 5 minutes until people find me. Oh, well, never mind. Nice to not get the whispers every now and again. But this one just happened to be in a convenient place, hence the reason I used it. I've got pre-meds spread out all over the place. It makes filming a lot easier. You actually haven't seen this before, have you? Yeah, it's really neat. So your Abyssal Seahorse buggers off and says, screw this, I'm out of here, I'm not going down there. And then he gets sucked in after, well, a little bit of hesitation. Suddenly you're falling, and splash into this even deeper area of Vashj'ir. Vashj'ir is enormous, by the way, if you hadn't already realized. The entire area is absolutely gigantic. You've got this amazing sea life under here as well. Really cool flora and fauna. And if you pop up and you go to the northeast, you will see the instance portal, which will get you where you need to go. So, getting there, like I say, is a little bit of a pain. As far as I can say, the easiest way is just to fly over Vashj'ir until you reach that point, drop into the water, fly straight down, and that will get you where you need to go. If you don't have the Abyssal Seahorse, get it before you go there. Seriously, do the quests in here. It's cool anyway. The next dungeon you need to concern yourself with would be the Stone Core, which is in Deepholm. Now, the teleporter for this actually works this time, thankfully. That's where the teleporter is. You'll get access to a number of different zones. That's the Deepholm teleporter. So we're going to take this. Bear in mind, you do not have access to this until you do the first Maelstrom event. And there is a teleporter to the Maelstrom there as well, so you don't need to worry. Now, you'll be teleported to the Temple of Earth, which is in the centre of the zone, and Deepholm actually has a map now, so I can show you that too. That's the nice thing about this little tour video and guide. It can show you the stuff that I wasn't able to when it was horribly broken. Instead, I can show you other things that are also horribly broken. Now, I don't know what it is about this building. I can never find my way out. I always end up going to the wrong place. There's a couple of wings of it. It's quite large, deceptively so, on the inside. On the outside, obviously, it's bloody huge. You got the portal up there to where Therazane's kicking back Chilaxon and Maxon. She's a reputation hub, incidentally, for daily quests, so you're going to want to go up there, regardless of how ugly she is. There is the front door. It's actually sort of to the south, and there's the map. Isn't that a nice map? I'd say that's a very high-quality map. It's a higher quality map than I would have expected. It's a good map. Good 8 out of 10 for that map. Now, they have disabled flying mounts in here, which is interesting because I asked them to do that at the end of the Maelstrom video, as you recall, and they did. Feeling influential. Not that that's the case, no doubt, but hey, I'm sure Blizzard does watch some videos for feedback. Common sense, as far as I'm concerned. They were covering the quest givers with those bloody things. Right, what you need to do is fly straight upwards from the entrance, then take a left. Go around, it's about halfway around, and you will see the instance portal there. You will need to memorize this, because if you die, finding the instance portal is a total pain in the arse. Yes, it really is. It took us ages the last time we died in Stone Core. I would not recommend repeating that to anybody. Right, that's the Stone Core, and the next instance you need to concern yourself with is the Vortex Pinnacle in Uldum, which actually has 3 instances, and I will show you them all. Those concerned, by the way, that I'm not showing the Alliance way to get into Deepholm, the portals are really obvious. You're not going to have any problems finding them in Stormwind. Right. Now, there aren't all that many flight points in Uldum as of yet. Bear in mind this video could potentially become out of date by the time the game comes out. They might put more flight points in, but one that's kind of handy to have is at the Gate of the Watchers right there. There are 2 flight points, one either side. You saw the Alliance, and that is the Horde. I would grab these, honestly, considering that the main flight point within Uldum is actually not in an ideal location. It's nice to have this nonetheless. A lot of you are just going to want to fly around with your flying mounts, but again, I like to go AFK sometimes, and it's good to go on a flight in order to do that. Okay, up we go. Now, we're flying directly all the way over to where the Vortex Pinnacle is. You can very clearly see it on the map. The map here is very nice. It shows you all 3 of the instances. But the portals might not necessarily be where you expect them to be. Especially with the lost city of the Tolvir. That's a bloody nightmare. And actually that's bugged out at the minute. So you fly all the way over here and just across the ocean. Don't worry about fatigue. It shows up on the map as a fatigue area. You don't actually get it if you're flying there. And that will get you to where you need to go. There is another set of flying areas, another part of the skywall. Don't get confused with that. That's the one, I believe, where the raid instance is going to be, the Throne of Alakia. You don't need to worry about that right now. You're going to have to indulge me here, because I love this place. It's so freaking cool. Just look at it. It's badass. You can't say that's not badass. It's fantastic. So I'm going to fly around in it just a little bit. It's whimsical. I'm a fan. Nice particle effects as well, honestly. Very impressive. Head up here. And it's actually snugged away there. That's where the meeting stone is, and that is where the instance portal is. Very stylish. I'll take you where you need to go. This actually works now, thankfully. Didn't used to. You can only get there via LFG, which was kind of irritating, but hey, there you go. Mostly because of the level restriction on it, as opposed to anything else, that ridiculous item level thing. Right, that's one of 3. Now, you might want to know where the best flight point to access all 3 of these dungeons is. Well, I can show you that as well. That's actually in a place called Ramkehen. All the way up the river on that delta there. This is a neutral flight point, so you can use it. It's the main questing hub of Uldum. It's where all the friendly cat people are, as opposed to the evil death cat people.
Farewell.
Okay, so we'll grab that. That's fairly handy, but it is a little bit far away from the Lost City and the Vortex Pinnacle. Quite close to the Halls of Origination, so not too much of a problem. We'll go to the halls first, and it's always nice to have a look at the more populated version of Uldum now. You remember my old video. It certainly wasn't quite as busy as it is now, which is good. They've added a lot of stuff to this zone, which makes it very cool, very dynamic indeed. Although there are still large areas of it that don't have a lot in, but bear in mind it is a large desert zone. What the hell do you expect? Also bear in mind a lot of this zone is hidden. You've got a lot of temples and underground areas that you can't see from the surface, which is nice. A lot of exploration to be had there. Halls of Origination is fairly straightforward as to how to get to it. Simply go in the front of the pyramid and follow this path down. There is really only one way to get there. It'll dismount you, and there you go. There is your entrance to the actual instance itself. Okay, there's one more that we need to concern ourselves with, which is the Lost City of the Tolvir. This one is a little bit confusing. It's not overly obvious as to where it is from the start, so let's go and have a look at it. Best thing to do is fly directly south from Ramkehen over the delta and the dam. You'll find yourself going towards the Lost City of the Tolvir. There is one way to get there which makes the instance portal very obvious, and then every other way is not so obvious because it's kind of hidden. So just fly due south, as you can see right here. Keep going all the way over there, and what you will see over the waterfall as you approach the city will be a nice glowing purple portal just hidden inside there. Look at it from any other way, you probably won't find it. And it's broken at the minute. They just had a server restart after this and managed to break all of the instance portals. I don't think that's what they were supposed to be doing with maintenance, but hey, there you go. And I'm trying to get you the screen so you can look at it there. I've actually frozen the video so you can have a look at the loading screen for that, because it was popping up for a frame, if that. Okay, there we go. Cool. Right, that's the Lost City of the Tolvir. That's how to get there. That's how to get to the 3 dungeons in Uldum. Now, the other one that we have to concern ourselves with, of course, is Grim Batol, which is all the way over the other side. And this is a little bit of a pain to get to for the Horde. Alliance have quite a few options. You can see right here, Slab Chisel Survey is one of the best ways to get there. That's in the wetlands. Just fly to the east a little bit, and you won't have too much of a problem finding it. Just sort of take a slight turn to the south over there, and you just round the corner and you will see Grim Batol. You will also see a broken sky dome there from the Twilight Highlands, which they will no doubt have to fix. There you go. little bit of a left turn, and there is Grim Batol. Now the question is, how do you get here for the Horde? It's a bit of a pain in the arse, quite frankly. Flying down from Arathi Highlands is quite quick, but once they implement this, and I assume either once you've gained the rep to use it, or you can phase to get it, you can fly from the Vermilion Redoubt. Not too much of a problem. Like I say, that dude is unlocked by something, or he's not implemented yet, one way or the other. But this looks like a very handy flight point to have, honestly, especially if you're Horde. Now, how do you get to Grim Batol? Well, Grim Batol is on the other side of that mountain right there, and you've got plenty of company. The Red Dragon Flight is out in force. They are not a fan of what's going on inside Grim Batol, and I honestly don't really blame them. Grim Batol, just like the Lost City of the Tol'vir and the Halls of Origination, are level 85 dungeons. You can do them before that, as I've proven on normal mode. You can do them with level 83 DPS, but I would recommend you have a level 85 tank, unless you want to get splattered. So to get to Grim Batol, you can fly straight over it if you so desire, but I'd rather go this route, and there is one reason for that. Just fly over the Broken Gateway, and sup. Yeah. Coolest looking dragon model in the game, although might be superseded by Deathwing. And there's the instance portal that you've seen before. In we go, or at least we would if it wasn't broken. That pretty much covers it, folks. That is how to find every single dungeon portal for the 5-mans in Cataclysm. I'm obviously not telling you where the Dead Mines at Shadowfang Keep are, because if you don't know that by now, then please uninstall the game. My name's been Total Biscuit. Hopefully that was at least semi-interesting for you, and I'll see you next time.